Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to our Mother's Day special.
That looks so dark over there. Let's see what it looks like on the screen. Oh, I should definitely turn down my things. I was only halfway.
It's been a day.
It's been a beautiful day.
Yesterday was a different vibe, and today I'm trying to bring that same energy into today.
Into today. Oh, they can see us just fine. That's what they're saying.
Oh, nice.
Right on.
So everything's good.
Golden. Oh, that's not bad for split screen.
Today's live is in honor of Mother's Day, which is this coming Sunday. So I wanted to touch all the bases before then because it doesn't feel the same if you do it after Mother's Day. So we had to do it this Wednesday.
Yeah, like how are you mindful of something that's after the fact?
Exactly. It's like you forgot it.
Yeah.
So it's today. Before we had names, we had wounds. Before we had stories, we had song. Before we knew ourselves as daughters, sons, or seekers, we were held in rhythm, in breath, in something wordless and vast. So tonight we return to that pulse, to the quiet knowing that we are born from love, shaped by care, and softened by the hands, seen or unseen, that carried us.
Ooh.
What is Mother's Day like for you? What does it remind you of? What does it make you feel when Mother's Day comes up? So, a little backstory on Mother's Day. Anna Jarvis is the one who petitioned to have Mother's Day celebrated as a national holiday.
That's cool.
In 1905, after her mother's death, Anna Jarvis set out to honor her mother's legacy by establishing a national Mother's Day on the second Sunday in May, the day that her mother had died. Anna, who never married or had children of her own, did not focus the holiday on peace activism, but on the idea of honoring one's own mother. She chose white carnations as an emblem and urged people to write heartfelt letters of gratitude to their mothers. In Anna's eyes, sending out a printed card didn't count. It was a heartfelt, handwritten letter. Anna succeeded in her quest for the official recognition, and President Wilson issued a proclamation of the first National Mother's Day just before the start of World War I. Anna later on saw Mother's Day being commercialized. We were making candies, the card companies were profiting off of it, and she grew discontent as she noted the increasing commercialization of the holiday. She was so distraught over the way that Americans observed the holiday that she had worked so hard to establish that she started a petition to have it recalled in 1943.
Oh, wow.
And shortly afterwards, she had like 33 lawsuits against all these companies.
Oh, wow.
And
did she die?
No, she was sent to a mental institution.
Oh my gosh, which I mean is
where she died.
So she did die.
And you know who paid for everything? All her bills and everything while she was in there?
All of the companies.
Those companies.
That's
the
like
flower
such
company
a slap
and
in
the
face.
card company that she was in.
Oh my gosh.
So
that was their payoff.
There was talk that they had thrown her in there. They had worked to get her thrown in there.
That was definitely their payoff. Open publicly enough for the public to know, but like subtle enough to
the history of Mother's Day alone has its own heavyweights to it.
Oh my gosh.
But what does Mother's Day mean for you? What do you think of? What do you feel? What do you remember about Mother's Day? What was the holiday for you? For me, I remember being in school and making cards and making all those noodle pictures and whatnot. Making handwritten cards were a big thing. Flower gifts or flower necklaces or collecting a bunch of wild flowers was a big thing. I remember doing that. I don't remember who encouraged me to do that, if it was the school or if it was something that I had wanted to do, because all my memories back in my childhood were making gifts for people, handmade gifts. It was a big thing. Might just be part of that whole creativiness
I could see
that's in me. But I remember doing that, and then making breakfast in bed was like, it made me feel so good and proud because it brought mom so much joy to get breakfast in bed. She was always the first one up making breakfast for everybody. So Mother's Day was her day where she didn't have to get up and do that. It was supposed to be brought to her. And mom liked peanut butter, so we put peanut butter all over everything. And then I put the cards on the tray and tried to make it something special. And then in my first marriage, Mother's Day was it was my first own celebration of Mother's Day, celebrating me being a mom. And there was some weight in it. There was some excitement. I remember my first Mother's Day being wonderful. And then slowly my expectations, my own expectations, which were what I did for my mom, I was hoping to have that return to breakfast in bed and stuff like that, having some of the tasks taken away from me so I didn't have to do it. Had to like lower my expectations so that I wasn't disappointed, and then refocus outward. And that is what brought me joy on Mother's Day, is doing for others. So trying to remind other mothers or people who experience loss and didn't get to be moms, making sure that all the fur moms out there got celebrated as well. And now in my current marriage, it's I still try to keep the bar low so that I don't get disappointed. But I am excited to experience my kids getting older. Some of my kids are getting to that age where they recognize the effect, and it's not so much school handwritten stuff. They're like making special things or doing special things, and so now there is some of that when I was a kid, what I did for my mom returning back to me. And then making sure I spend time with my kids or do something, I don't know, that they would remember their mom for. So I've made it a tradition for me to go on a hike on Mother's Day, get away from all the hubbub. And I feel like my kids remember going on lots of walks with me. So I force them sometimes to go on a hike on Mother's Day.
It's the Mother's Day hike.
But then I point out all the things that I love. And I want to share all the things that I love with them. So I'll point out every single time I see moss, look, there's moss. And funny enough, my mom did that. My mom did that all the time.
Huh.
My mom would do that all the time. I'm like, gosh, Mom, you're so fucking corny. Oh my gosh. But it's, in a way, I knew she was doing it to like hype it up, to get me excited about it. And it was also like a light bulb. Like, look here. So my mom would point out, look at that pretty flower. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, Mom. That's a flower. It is pretty.
Talk about living.
Oh, look at that cloud. Isn't that a pretty cloud? Okay, all right. So we're admiring stuff. You're right, Mom. You're right. That is a pretty cloud. It is a nice day. It's kind of nice to be out here. All right. I'll get out of my funk.
Come join the show.
And then my mom would do this thing, and it used to work every single time. And then as I got older, it just fucking pissed me off. And then I grew up, and I do it to my kids too. My mom had a happy song a happy song that she would sing when I would get grumpy or I don't know, my mood would change or I'd be sad. And it goes like this. If you chance to meet a frown, do not let it stay. And she would make the faces. Quickly turn it upside down and smile that frown away. No one likes a frowny face. Change it to a smile. It makes the world a better place by smiling all the while. And it would irritate me so bad. It worked when I was little. Oh, but those are the memories. Those are the memories.
That's fun. Mine were like, yeah, trying to get breakfast in bed to mom. And I don't know. I have a very different feeling towards Mother's Day. And I mean, Father's Day, if we're being honest. They're two holidays that I'm just more apathetic towards. And I think it more relates to how you had to lower your expectation or let go of expectation with Kurt so that you could, be able to redirect it in a focus that allowed you to actually appreciate Mother's Day. Whereas I just kind of like, it's not, I don't know. I think as a kid, I really enjoyed it. I loved being able to surprise my mom, being able to see her be excited for me to bring her something in bed and see that appreciation. And then it just felt, well, Miss, I forgot her name already, but she's like spot on. She saw the commercializing of it. And I really kind of fell into seeing mostly more of that aspect of it. And it was, I'm the kind of person that if I'm telling you something, it's because I mean it. But I'm not going to tell it to you if I don't mean it. So I started to feel a sense of obligation towards trying to impress my mother or make her feel pleased when it came to Mother's Day. And in a sense, love bombing, right? Because it starts out small with the cards and the handmade gifts, and then pretty soon you're like really trying to go all out in a sense in one direction or another. Um, remember her always asking me to write her a heartfelt letter about how I feel about her and all these other things. And I tell you what, I didn't get around to doing that until my 30s, like late 20s. It took me a really long time to be able to actually come full circle and deliver that on Mother's Day. And it was a good moment. It felt good to be able to do it. And I did it on my terms, right? But it definitely like put a pretense on how I felt about Mother's Day. And then leading into my first marriage, it was a lot of the same. It was expected of me to go above and beyond. And then Father's Day came around and it was lackluster. And yeah. So I don't hate Mother's Day. I don't hate Father's Day. I am indifferent to them. And I realize, like, as I talk about it, as I see it, it's definitely something that I wouldn't say needs addressing, but I mean, there's some room for growth there.
There's some hurt there.
Definitely. Something
to sit with.
That whole level of expectation thing, man. It's crazy what it does to not just yourself, but the people around you. Like, it's not something that is just a sole effect on our own selves. Like, it affects anybody that's in your life while you're holding on to those expectations.
I feel that way about Christmas. It became so commercialized. It had such a deeper meaning. It used to be about gift giving and people who had less than that could use a pick me up, and how rooted in family the holiday normally is, and the people that don't have family. It's thinking about everybody. And instead of making it about just my mom or me as a mother, it felt better to
bring it out,
zoom out.
Okay.
And that, I don't know, in a way lowering the expectations it wasn't just lowering expectations. It was zooming out.
Well,
Like instead of trying to focus on me and what I don't have, focus on the meaning of the holiday and all the people who deserve recognition and how I can spread that
well,
feeling.
now that you mention that, like I do that on Mother's Day. I like to reach out to my friends and at least wish them Happy Mother's Day. So it's nothing, no grand gesture or anything, but I don't know. Like, I might take a while to pick a gift out. Like if you got a gift from me, if you got a gift from me on the holidays, it was a well thought out gift. It wasn't just thrown at you. Like
I do love gifts.
that's the amount of effort I'm willing to put into Mother's Day for being able to give somebody something genuine, just a surprise. I recognize you as a mom and you're kicking ass, because everybody deserves to know that they're kicking ass, even when they feel like they don't. They don't, you know.
That's kind of why I'm excited to go into this today, because like we could touch on all those points that I wanted. I don't know, that make the holiday special for me. Like one big thing for Mother's Day. I don't know if I guess it is something I do quite often. Um, I I I dwell on how I'm going to be remembered. What kind of meaning did I leave in this lifetime? What kind of imprint do I have? And then I think about like how people are gonna
perceive you.
I don't know, on their deathbed,
That's like
as they're dying, how are they going to remember their like, children on Mother's Day? How did they feel on Mother's Day, regardless of how angry I'm at my mom at 13 years old and
so it's like
trying to rebel.
It's that whole age-old fear of like, when I die, I want to make sure that there's a lot of people at my funeral, because I've been to the funeral where there's not very many, and it's sad. Not very many people.
No.
It's not like that.
It's beyond that.
It's beyond
that. When they go home, it doesn't matter how many people come to my funeral. When they go home at the end of the night and they hear about me,
what is their thoughts?
What do they think? How do they feel?
Damn, really? Oh, mine is
behind closed doors. How do people feel? I want to leave an imprint. Like, man, she's a mouthy girl, but what she said really struck. She meant that.
My big picture thing that I like, whatever, a legacy, if you will, is I want to leave behind something, whether it's a vlog, a blog, a book, what have you, something that like.
But how are your kids going to remember you?
No, but that's just it. Like this thing that I want to make, it's going to be something that helps move people forward in life. Any person, right? So at the end of the day, the people, it doesn't matter whether I'm long past dead or if I'm still alive, the way people are going to remember me isn't by who I am and what I'm doing, but they're going to remember the advice that they got to make their lives better. And they're going to appreciate their own work that they did and be able to throw that to the next person. They get to do it selflessly and they don't put themselves in that, like, I have the answers and you will bow down to me if you want them. No, it's man, I cannot wait to share with you what I learned. And because it is something that is ingrained and grounded in your own experience, I don't know, it's like a subtle version of me that gets to just carry on. Like somebody like a ghost that gets to watch the progression of every moment, every ripple that this one stone casts and see how far it goes in all its directions. And that's like what I want to create. That's like my big yes, because that just like solidifies how anybody will ever think of me. Yeah.
I don't know. I go on a personal level. Like, for my mother, how is she going to remember Mother's Day? I want her to think back, wow, on Mother's Day, my kid brought me a tray. She found underneath all those dishes, she found a silver tray. I didn't even know we owned that. Found a silver tray, made me breakfast at the butt crack of dawn before I even got up, and served me a platter of breakfast with a handmade, heartfelt card that struck and made her freaking tear up, and she got that. She had that feeling.
And that's like a core memory for her for the rest of her
well,
life.
I hope. That's what I think of when I do it. It's like I want her to feel that. I want her to remember that she was remembered. We didn't forget it was Mother's Day. We might not have talked about it because it was hush hush.
Oh my gosh.
But
I got some catching up to do then.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I think of.
That's profound. I never thought about it like that.
That's my own personal experience with Mother's Day.
Oh man, I got to do like a Mother's Day revamp. Perspective. I gotta shift my perspective.
That's what today is, Brayden. That's why I told you I was excited to get into all this. I don't know. We're healing little bits. Don't worry. Just wait till we get to Father's Day. So we are honoring the feminine today. So let's not speak on what mothering, or let's speak on what mothering is. Mothering is not a gender.
It's the act of nurture.
It's not a checklist. It's not diapers and dinners and school drop-offs. It's a tide. It's an instinct.
It's unconditional.
Ancient and wild. It pulls you to hold when it would be easier to run, to see someone's becoming and make room for it. Mothering isn't reserved for those with wounds. It isn't always soft. It's fierce, too. It's boundary and balm. It's the warrior who stands in the storm, the friend who says, "You're not alone," the lover who whispers, "I've got you," when the world forgets your name. It's in how you tend, how you witness, how you stay. Mothering is a frequency, and not everyone can hear it. But those that do, they're forever changed by the sound. Mothering. We've gone into the divine feminine, we've touched on the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and we've made it clear that there is feminine and masculine in all of us. It's not a gender.
Masculine. Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
It's not a physical gender. It's just a rough explanation of two different sides, or two sides of a whole. I had to throw something in there. I was just getting bored being quiet, I haven't had anything to add, so I thought I'd just start a little bit. Anyone.
Think of the ones who carried us.
And what they did for us. Think of the ones that attempted to carry you and maybe even failed in the process. Maybe take a moment to appreciate the attempt, recognizing where you're at with your own parenting and what it's taken to get there.
The ones who couldn't carry us or didn't, that still shaped us. The mothers that we've lost, the mothers that we've become, and the men who stepped into the quiet ache and chose to nurture.
Yeah.
In this day and age, there are many of us who come from failed relationships or who have failed relationships ourselves, and we share our children, or maybe we can't share our children and you're just stuck being the mother and the father. Oof, that's a lot of weight to carry. So I really love to touch on that. The men who have to, or who did. My own husband had to be the mother and father for a long time. My ex-husband, he doesn't have a woman. So on the weeks that my kids are with him, he has to be the feminine as best he can. And when I was doing it by myself, doing both the masculine and the feminine, that's probably why I am a lot of the way that I am today. If we're being honest. No. And once you have played both roles, it's really hard to give that up, to trust somebody else to step into that role.
Yeah. I never thought about it. Like, my time with my kids is so short. It comes in spurts. It's only 2 days every week. It's a little bit different during summer, but it's like you're bringing up the scale for me because I'm like so macro level, like instant to instant, scenario to scenario. How am I going to approach this best? And seeing you bring it out in scope like that and bringing my brain that direction, like, wow, how many, like, I've had to do a lot of
Fixing their
introspection.
hair.
I'm not there yet.
Mm.
I can brush their hair. I'm attempting to learn how to get my daughter's hair curly because she really wants it.
But stepping into that nurturing.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard. It is not my playground whatsoever. Oh my gosh. So to the guys that can do it, to the guys that are learning how to do it, like, kudos. Don't give up. And the ones that can, when you see other guys struggle, feel free to help them out. I know I would appreciate it. We said like so many times in that last paragraph. I said like so many times in that last paragraph. I became very hyper aware of it. It was wild.
Tonight, we honor the ones who gave us life and the ones who gave us love when life felt too hard to carry on. To the women who carried life, who raised it, who lost it, or gave it away with hope. Mother's Day is wrapped in so many emotions, but there is so much that
so much it encompasses.
For real. Mother's Day, what makes you a mother? Caring and nurturing. If you were a dad who had to become both, you were the strength and the softness. The ones who showed up when the mother was gone, whether it be the aunt or the family friend across the street who made sure that you had dinner every night because the parent that was there was working so much.
Gosh, I'm just so fortunate that my ex is the mother that she is. Like, I can't even tell you how much of a load it takes off. Oh, I gotta bring attention to that for a moment because, yeah. Oh man, to have my kiddos full time by myself. Oh my gosh, that would be such a struggle. Those poor kids, I'd be YouTube efficient. I would be a YouTube extraordinaire. I'd have to be. But yeah, I mean, everything from just the personal talks that you have to go through with mothers to daughters to, like you said, like taking care of their hair and doing things and making sure that it's healthy and doing what it wants. On top of allowing them to have their autonomy, and I don't know. Parenting is wild, you guys.
Or adopting.
I couldn't imagine adopting.
If you had
Wait, what kind of adopting? Like taking
adopting
on somebody
step
else's
parent
kids, or
with
like
a
going
kid that
out?
you didn't give birth to.
Okay, and just in that sense,
okay.
Stepping
into that and being a mother there.
Yeah, that's like
the souls who ache for a child and they never got to meet them. They are, I deeply remember some friends' in vitro journeys, and there was a whole lot of pain and struggle in that when your body's just not doing what it's normally supposed to do, and everybody else around you is having kids, and you've prepared your whole life to have kids, and you just can't.
I feel like it's a lot more common than I realized. I mean, I've got a lot of, I can't say like friends, but
the adoption process. My goodness, I know 2 people personally who have gone through the adoption process, and like when you want a child that bad, oh man, I mean, for safety reasons, it makes sense that there's so many hoops to jump through, but man, 3 years waiting for an adoption. knowing that there's a good possibility that they're going to say no and you're going to have this attachment to a child that you can't call yours yet. Or maybe the other person decides that they want to rescind the adoption and take that kid back.
Wow, I didn't even know that was a thing.
That happened to my aunt. Oof, what'd Bailey say? It's a tough role. It's okay to feel like it's a tough battle. I struggle with my sons being a fatherly role figure because it's so abnormal.
Yes.
And it's not my natural role. And then I find myself being resentful for not being able to embrace my feminine and motherly nature. Oh man.
Oh, you can't attack yourself while you're learning.
Oh, but that mother guilt. Oh, that mother guilt. That's another big one that plays into how I'm gonna be remembered.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Oh my goodness. Like I feel so much that I yell, or I have a temper, and I try to get better with communicating with them. But I really wonder how I'm gonna be remembered. Like I'm trying to be there in the moments where it really, really matters. Be present with them, but in the day-to-day life, are they gonna remember me screaming so much, and is it gonna take my death for them to think back, oh yeah, my mom was a good person? But as they think of me now, oh, she yells so much.
My kids say that about me.
Like my child who keeps waking me up in the morning, doesn't know how to be quiet. He's a bull in a china shop. Yeah, I don't like being woken up. But I hope that I reined in my temper and I didn't yell, and it's noticeable, and he remembers me asking him more. I hope you have a good day at work. What are you planning to do today? I hope you have a good day. Throw that in there while like, oh man, can you be a little bit more quiet in the mornings? Jeez. Yeah.
It's rough. Parenting is hard.
The people who help shape us, who fill that motherly role, like the teachers who give you that extra boost and encouragement.
Those teachers.
Those motherly figures that it doesn't even have to be mom. It doesn't even have to be a female.
Man, and
but some nurturing roles, that gym teacher that made sure that you had a lunch or something. Oof. So much. The honor in that. And the people who are remothering themselves now. Like if you didn't have that figure in your life and you're happy, you have to learn from outside influences.
Books.
Books.
And podcasts.
Delilah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
Listen to that every Sunday. Oh, that soft voice on the radio at night.
Whatever happened to her?
She's still there. She's still around. Mm-hmm.
Or she still does the whole. I remember as a kid, it was the.
She has a TikTok.
It was Santa Claus. She'd always talk about Santa Claus showing up, and it was a whole little 3-minute skit.
Aww.
Yeah. Wow. Talk about a trip down memory lane. And we used to do it. We would listen to Delilah. We jump in the back of the car, or we would sit in the very back of the car, and then we would go out and check out Christmas lights. We did that till we were about 14. Mom, I got better things to do. I got video games to play.
That's the one nice memory that I hold on to from Christmas. That
checking out Christmas lights? Yeah,
it was my thread that I held on to because I had so much resentment for how commercialized it got, and everybody's blabbering on about the gifts and who got what kind of gift and spent this much money, and oh well, I went and did this and I got gifts for cousins and all that, and all your yeah, I held on to that thread. I remember looking at Christmas lights Christmas Eve, and we listened to Christmas music. I was not a fan of Christmas music. It was the one time I would play it consistently. When we're looking at Christmas lights to get into the Christmas spirit.
I was brainwashed into it, man. November on. I remember sometimes they'd start in October, and I was stoked.
You liked it?
Oh yeah, and then June or July rolls around, and they just start randomly playing in my head. oh man, we're halfway there. It's almost, and I don't even like look forward to Christmas the same way that I used
They
to.
do that on purpose. They do that on purpose to get you thinking about it so that you'll go out and buy gifts.
Well,
They
they
do it in the
don't. It's
stores.
just like in my head, music starts.
Oh,
Christmas
okay.
music in June and July is always a thing. There's always 2 weeks where it's festive as all get out in my brain, and it's all Christmas music, and I don't know why. I don't look for it. I'm not like, oh, it's that time. It's just all of a
It's
sudden.
it's the last week, the week leading up to Christmas, that I am okay with it. But I took that little strip, that thread, I held on to that and I made it my own thing. And so now we listen to Christmas trap music on Christmas Eve, and we go look at Christmas lights, and we turn the bass up on the
We
subs.
go hard,
And
yo.
just,
I love it.
jingle bells, jingle. I was like, yeah, we're looking at Christmas lights. It doesn't feel like
Stop
ick.
it.
I made it my own thing.
That's so funny. I love it. But that's what you gotta
Brings
do,
me
right?
joy. Brings me joy.
It's that whole
And now I
perspective
really
switch.
look forward to looking at Christmas lights. I'm like, okay, Elijah, I know you're 16, and I know you could be doing better things, but this is my night. This is my night. I'm gonna make you do the same thing my mom made me do, and you're gonna come look at Christmas lights with me for an hour.
I'd be glad it's not caroling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even that was kind of fun, though.
Oh my gosh.
If it was organized.
I did that like twice in my life, and
Same. But that's why it was fun.
it was a church event both times.
One time it was for band, and we were playing Christmas music at an old folks home.
Man,
That was cool.
we went to all the members' houses, so like we didn't even get to sing to random people. I was a little bit disappointed in that. You know, it's cool that you have enough members that you can send 5 caroling groups out and hit everybody, but in the same rate, you know.
Nightmare Before Christmas Tree. That's right. We made our own little Christmas traditions.
I want to get a white Christmas tree and put
But
purple
those came from my
decorations on it.
mother. Those came from my mom, making those moments special.
Oh my gosh.
She worked extra hard.
Yep.
Every holiday.
Yep.
To make it special for us kids.
Mom and grandma both, man, they went all out. Yeah,
making the Christmas rings, making the turkey hams, Valentine's Day cards. My mom always got us a Valentine's gift, whether it's that little $1 box of chocolates and a handwritten note. Just a handwritten note saying that she was thinking of us and she loves us. Every single holiday. Cheesy as fuck.
Oh man.
But she took the time and effort to do that. And it really didn't hit so hard until I became a mom and saw that the effort that I put in, like, wow, dude, she really went all out. She took the time and energy to make little things like that special.
Isn't that wild? Some people are just like, it's their thing. They can just do it. I know I'm not one of those people. Having conscious thought for doing the things. Oof.
A coach.
Like, this is my first year that I'm not scrambling to have a Mother's Day gift ready for Dory. Like, my kids and I sat down, we figured it out, we got it all squared away, and I was like, look at that! I still got a week before I even have to worry about Mother's Day. Like, this is new. Like, I'm doing the things. But it's not, like, it doesn't come from because I don't want to do them. I forget.
An acknowledgement and honoring. That's I don't know. That's the oomph that I feel behind the holiday. It just acknowledging.
So I guess how do you get back to that? How
much different people put into having that motherly energy. The coaches, the teacher, the dad who brushes your hair before picture day, the sibling who packs your lunch to make sure that you have lunch for school that day. The nurturing, just acknowledging it. I don't know, that's what we're doing today. I literally was talking about Whitney's Christmas tree tonight. That's awesome. Yeah, the nurse who stayed past her shift to make sure that you felt good and to pass you on to the next person. The friend who whispers, you got this. The divine whisper inside, the inner mother that says, rest now, you're worthy. Who mothered you in a way that surprised you?
Who mothered me in a way that surprised me? Psh. Huh. Okay. One time when I was going to school, the crosswalk lady had a hat, a pair of gloves, and a coat ready for me. Because I never had a hat, I never had gloves, and I always wore two sweaters. Unbeknownst to her, that was my choice. I did not like being bogged down with all the extra. I couldn't handle it. Like two sweaters was all I needed to stay warm. Then you take one off, and then you're like kind of warm. It's a gray system. And yeah, and then she ended up getting a haircut with my mom and did a follow up with her because she didn't actually believe me when I told her that. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, but like looking back on, it, my gosh, she probably, and looking at what I spend on clothes for my kids now, easily just dropped $20 out of thin air for some random kid that she barely knows. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, way to it's moments like that make me try to be open to the experience of helping others. Like the other day, there was this kid running around the coin machines, and you could tell he really wanted to play the game. So I gave him $1. Here, go get yourself a coin. Go play. He's like, awesome, thank you. And then he ran off. Didn't play a game. Decided he wanted to save his dollar, and I can respect that. It's like, dollar earned. I didn't have to do anything for it. I can keep it. So yeah, I don't know. I appreciate those moments. What about you? What was yours? Hi, Alba. I don't know if you're still on, but hello.
I don't know. There's a couple.
Yeah?
Yeah. Miss Wolf Raven down the street, he died. She was kind of like a motherly figure. She'd always send food down to the house. Our neighbor across the street, Renee, she's so much like a mom. Buck across the street.
Got mom energy. I like that.
She every time she goes somewhere, when she goes out of state, she'll give me a little something, and she'll come back with like a keychain or a sticker for me. She was thinking of me.
My great grandma Fulton, Grandma Mabel. She went by both. I can't remember for sure which is. I think Mabel's her maiden name. Anyway, she would take me out to Wyoming on the side of a highway with a plastic bag, and we would pick up these shiny, like, I think they had calcite in them, or not calcite. What is the clearing stone? Like, no, the milky white one that like is jagged. My candles. Selenite. Thank you. Gosh, I hate it when that word eludes me. Anyway, so it had like selenite going through it. I don't know that it was selenite, but it had that one. It was really rough rock. They just glittered in the sun. And I'd come home with a whole bag of them. My rock collecting started when I was 3.
I was gonna say, so that's where that love of rocks comes from, huh?
Yeah. Wow. But that was, yeah, she was so much fun. She took me to do the most random things. She's also why I love garage sailing. Oh, and well, Grandma Susan, she was also a big garage sailor. It's just so much fun to see what other people have in their house. And then when you like something you want and you can use, hell yeah.
There was always a large community around growing up, I feel like. And I have a pseudo mom, Debbie. When my parents split up and my mom moved away, Debbie really, really stepped up and really became that mother figure in our family for me and my sisters and my little brother.
Huh.
And it's never like overbearing. It's always got that soft energy to it. She's always making sure anything that I have a hole in, she fixes. The big holidays, man, there's always so many people around.
My mom and I, even for all the fights that we had, I can appreciate the fact that we could have deep talks. At the end of the day, I got to get a lot of brain thoughts out. And I think my biggest thing that I can appreciate about her is it didn't matter how much we fought. Like after the fight was done, that was that. We didn't hold on to it. Hell, we'd be lucky to remember it past 3 days, and like, life goes on. Which has its own moments of toxicity. I'm not gonna lie, but I really appreciate it because it took me to a space where I don't have to be hold on to anger for people. Or if I do, man, like you must have really pissed me off because it takes a lot for me to stay angry at somebody, and that's only grown better throughout the years. But yeah, I guess like that's something I really do appreciate because I mean I already have enough of an issue with the spikes in my anger when I have them. Like, to have to deal with the spike and then the hang on after, gosh.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah.
Rick says, I was blessed with an amazing mother who always did everything she could for us and was extremely supportive no matter the circumstances. With that being said, I also sought out other families to learn from and see what the norm was outside my own home. And I was gratefully embraced into many families, so I was fortunate to have many mother figures. I feel that.
Oh man.
And as you speak on that, I don't know, it brings me back to thinking like when the image of the pedestal that my mother was on was shattered.
Oh yeah,
You
that's
had
a
a moment for that.
Very young, yes.
I think I was like 15 when that happened. And I think that's probably where some of my resentment came as a teenager.
Okay.
Was the fact that she wasn't this perfect person that I had put on a pedestal. Like, you're supposed to be this person because I said so.
I don't think I ever put my mom on a pedestal, but you know, also like I never put people on a pedestal. I put characters on pedestals.
I was young. Well, I don't know. In the church and everything.
I definitely had like that moment of disappointment. Like, wow, mom, like for being a mom, that does not sit right with me at all, and I kind of feel slapped in the face.
Yeah, it's like a bucket of cold water, slap in the face.
Like, just like
mom's not perfect.
Yeah.
What the heck? You're supposed to have all the answers, and you're supposed to know the things.
Mine was like maybe not even so much that as much as like you don't think that they're ever gonna drop below a certain threshold because they've learned enough about parenting because they're being the parents.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So like when that finally does happen, where you like see where they like wow, like they are human too.
Yeah, but it took. I feel like when I turned 18, I feel like after my birthday and settling into being an adult, I was like, oh, mom really tried.
Yeah. Yep.
And then after I became a mom, I was like, ooh, oh my gosh, she didn't know what she was doing. I'm so sorry, mom. I really thought you had it all. I thought you did. What do you mean? We don't all just have that knowing as we become a parent.
And everybody gets that talk from their parent. You think I got it figured out? You think I just know what I'm doing?
Level of love and appreciation.
After that, it definitely softened my heart towards my mother.
My mother is overbearing and a lot, but she has always gone above and beyond for her kids when it came to protecting us. And I think it doesn't matter how many fights we do have or don't have. Where'd it go?
That's right here.
I know. At the end of the day, she's done the best that she can and loves her kids with every measurable piece of her soul. Yeah. Yeah.
I think, and that was like what I got. Because I don't know. I also went through this part where I was disappointed that my parents couldn't figure it out. They had all this time to grow up and figure out how to do the things, but you know, and as Note does, it is, you know, internet has really helped. Like having cell phones has really helped gap the communication gap that we had back in the early 90s, the 80s, the 70s, and 60s. Like,
so we can have all these conversations.
So we can have this growth and the podcast, all of that, you know. So taking that into account, it's a lot easier to not hate my parents for not being able to figure it out like I am currently in the process of doing. But it also, can you imagine trying to parent and then not being able to go to your phone to find a solution from all of the other people that have gone through it to figure out which one works best for you?
Or to talk to somebody.
Oh, yeah. And just that, especially when it's small community living, everybody's going to be pretty much a general consensus on the ways of things. It's just part of small town living. The diversity isn't as much there, so trying to find the options to do parenting the way it benefits you is it's like a fart in the sky at the time. So yeah. And then you really appreciate your parents for the struggle they went through. And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say it excuses away anything, but it's that whole you're not, what was it, the video you showed me, you're not giving approval for their behavior. You're just forgiving them for it so you can let go of it. You're not saying it's okay that
the
you did that.
forgiveness is for you.
Yeah.
It's all about you to let go of that energetic baggage.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't trigger you anymore.
Well, and do it so that you have the opportunity to see your mother in a way that you can appreciate her for the effort she put in, regardless of how little to non-existent it was. Find something in that. Even the absent parent more than likely had a good enough reason to do what they did, to walk away, what have you. It may not be the right answer, especially when you hear what it is, but where were they? What was their thought process? What kind of lifestyle did they have to base their choices off of? What kind of choices had they made up to that point? We don't know any of that, or we know very limited about it, right? So
living in rural places, not having cell phones.
Yeah. So give your parents the same grace you would give yourself for the effort they put in. Mm-hmm.
When did you feel most like a mother? Even if you're not a mother.
Ooh.
Or a mom, but not in title, but in action.
Mine was relearning how to talk to my kids instead of yelling at them and demanding that they just do what I expect because they should figure it out because they are mature enough to know, to come at them under the pretense of I am helping a soul become human in their own right. So I need to be able to be on their level. And if I can get on other people's level, I should be able to get on my kids' level. Like, I share DNA with them. I should be able to get on their level easier than I can get on anybody else's level. So, Braden, let's restructure the actions so that you can come with compassion and understanding, with that intuitive nature to know what your child is looking to communicate with you at that time. And that was hard. But it's the best feeling when you accomplish it and you can see the change. My kids don't call me a angry, grumpy dad who yells all the time. That was a going thing for a while. I'm Mojo Jojo, okay?
Intently listening, patiently listening to
Ooh, I like that.
To children is really hard. Like thinking of like 3-year-olds going in circles and circles and circles. So I was on this walk and then I was like, and the duck and on the walk I was going and there was a road and then grandma said, but so yeah. And then, oh my gosh, stop. Or even when it's about their feelings. Like I had a big one with my daughter. Well, both of them really. My daughter cries so much and she'll get to the point where she'll cry so much that she pukes.
That is insane.
Yeah, she'll huff and puff and hyperventilate and then make herself puke.
What?
My son is a lot like me, and when he gets mad and upset, he closes off and then he'll start hitting things or himself. So dealing with big emotions like that to bring him back down to talking and coaxing them through these big emotions that they don't know how to handle. I pass off my daughter to my husband because he has a lot more patience with that. I work with her when she's not like that, like with the moody, brooding teenager stuff. I can handle that, and I really enjoy bringing them back to love, to loving themselves, to being outspoken and bring the shine back in their eyes when they're going through rough emotions like that.
I'm in the process of fixing the traumas that I've caused with my kids. So I really love addressing the traumas. Well, like my youngest, man, she gets that whole fight or flight mentality when you start harping on her about getting shoes on her, getting the bedroom clean. Like if it's not specific, she doesn't. It's not enough information for her to actually be productive with. So she's just sitting there in that like that frozen processing buffering stage, and she just like nothing. You don't get anything. And so I'm recognizing that's at that whole freeze up. And so now it's being super patient with her when I have to redirect her 15 freaking times. It's being present with her while she's cleaning her room. I got to remember that the more I am present with her while she cleans her room, the sooner she will not require my presence to clean her room. But that's a hard thing to remember in the moment when you just want to sit down. You've been running all day and you're just like, clean your room. Just the clothes. Just pick up the clothes and do the things with the clothes. And then you go in there and she's on a book. I'm like, I did that too. I did that too. Okay. All right. I said clothes. Why do you have a book in your hand?
With my mom about being frustrated with my kids doing the same thing. I'm like, I remember as a kid, I would just clean my room. Just like, no, you didn't, Whitney. I had to sit with you for so long and I'd point at things. Whitney, look over there in that corner. You see all that stuff in the corner? And then I'd look under her bed, Whitney. You can't be stuffing your stuff under the bed. And I'd have to sit with you. Like, no, you didn't.
I finally got rid of it.
Yes, I did, Whitney. I'm like, no way, I don't remember that. I'm like, well, I did.
Yeah, I got rid of my bed frame so I didn't have the temptation. It's like, I can't handle it, Mom. Things get under there and they're staying under there.
I have a poem that I found on TikTok that I want to share. By the School of Wisdom. I looked up the poem and I can't figure out who wrote it, but I shared it on the page and I feel like it encompasses a lot about what it is to be a mother.
All right, let's hear
it. What is a mother? A mother is more than just a title. She is the embodiment of unconditional love, the architect of our earliest memories, and the silent strength that holds a family together. She is the one who sacrifices sleep for our dreams, who wipes away tears and encourages us to try again. A mother is the first voice that we hear, the first touch we feel, and the first source of comfort in times of distress. She is a teacher, imparting lessons in kindness, resilience, and empathy. A mother's love is a compass that guides us through life's uncharted territories, and her wisdom becomes a beacon in moments of confusion. In her embrace, we find warmth and security. In her laughter, we discover joy. A mother is a caregiver, a nurturer, and a guardian of our well-being. Her love is constant, unwavering, and timeless, weathering the storms and celebrating the sunshine moments. Sunshine moments.
Sunshine dust. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, guys. We're stepping into my portion. And, we've already mixed it in throughout. And as you can tell, though my opinion has shifted a bit throughout the conversation about Mother's Day, I would like to just bring about the heavier aspects of Mother's Day.
Last week we did have someone comment saying that Mother's Day is a hard reminder for them because they had a lot of people who died that were close to them.
So we're just going to jump right into this. Because this day may stir something in you that you didn't expect. Mother's Day doesn't always come with clear emotions. For some, it brings warmth, for others, a fog, and for many, it's a quiet ache they can't quite name. It's okay not to feel how they think they should feel. So, or it's okay that you guys, sorry, I'm reading my notes, can you tell? It's okay to not feel the way that society pushes on us what Mother's Day really is. And in all honesty, like, yes, we want to appreciate mothers. We want to give thanks to them. We want to commemorate them. We want to honor that experience of mothering, right? Because it has its place. That was the whole purpose behind it. Uh, but also, you don't have to feel that way if it's something that causes grief, if it's a reminder of loss, or if it's a reminder, and we can get into that loss as far as like whether you've been having a estranged relationship, whether it is a death and you don't have a way that you feel you can connect with that person anymore, so on and so forth, or just a very fake relationship that you have with your mother because they don't see eye to eye, and
A
all those other
loss of the
things.
relationship you wish you had with your
Ooh,
mother.
that's a good one. Might bring up tension, silence, resentment, grief, emptiness, or a sense of numbness. Mine is apathy. Whatever's present for you today belongs there, even if it has no name yet. You're allowed to honor that space. Negative emotions, negative feelings don't necessarily have to have a negative connotation. It's just you recognizing that there is something there that needs to be or could be unpacked.
I feel like, in the same sense that I feel about Christmas, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to bring that negative emotion to the holiday. You're bringing the vibe down. So when you don't feel celebratory for a day like Mother's Day, it's like, I'm just going to close myself off because I don't need to be around all the
Yeah.
people.
Well, but the beauty of it is by acknowledging it, by giving it its space. That's the thing. You can allow it to have a space. It doesn't have to take up all of Mother's Day. You allow it to because it is something that's heavy. It's something you haven't processed. It's something that you haven't given its space to. So this is an opportunity for you guys to be able to not just acknowledge and recognize what it is, but it's a chance to be able to ask yourselves or decide how are you going to honor that emotional pull. For some people, it's going to visit the grave sites of their loved ones. Maybe that's where they feel closest and connected, or going to do something that they loved most. Maybe it's having that conversation inside your head about how you would like to approach conversation or wish you could have the type of conversation that you have.
You could take some time early in the morning or later on in the evening
maybe
to sit with those feelings.
Maybe it's a prank phone call from an anonymous number to get back at whoever. Like there are ways to give it its
outlet.
Well, yeah, to give it its place, if you will. So that way, when you do come to the actual festivities, if you have them and you feel obligated to go to them, or you're just excited to go to them, but don't know if you actually have the emotional capacity for it, it will be easier for you to be able to step into embracing that energy if you've given space for the energy that holds primary in your life right now surrounding that holiday. It's not about being able to get rid of the feeling or transmute it into love and oh my gosh, it's amazing. It really is just making space for it. Allow your truth to be able to be acknowledged. And that thing may become a ritual that you do for the rest of your life because it brings comfort and solace. Or it may be something that's there for a time until you're ready to move on to something different and make Mother's Day something else for you instead of where your focus has been at. Yeah. World's your oyster. The options are endless. These are just ruminations or what have you. I feel like words are hard for me today. There's room here for the feelings that don't get posted online. Mother's Day, as it's shown to us, often skips over the complex, but life and love aren't filtered. Sometimes there's longing beneath the love. Sometimes there's pain underneath the peace. Mm. You're allowed to explore what this day actually means to you. This day, we're often told what Mother's Day should mean, but meaning isn't assigned, it's discovered. And sometimes that discovery begins in discomfort. So ask what this day has meant for you. Ask. I'm asking. Gosh, my notes are terrible today. I'm asking you guys. What does this day mean to you currently? What has it meant for you in the past? Has it changed over time? What do you look forward to in the future? Like, best case scenario, what's an awesome Mother's Day look like to you? How can you start shaping that for yourself? Baby steps. Is there a part of you today that's asking to be heard, even if you don't have the words yet?
Mm. Asking yourself that as the holiday comes up could help you deal with it.
Here's another good one. What has the day come to mean for you? And in that meaning, is it something you've chosen or something you inherited? Like the whole breakfast in bed thing. Is that something that was passed down as a tradition? Was it something that you decided to bring on for yourself? Like, ask yourself your traditions, the importance and the meaning and thoughts behind Mother's Day for you.
I feel like a lot of the inherited meaning commercially online is that you're supposed to take some of the tasks off of her plate. If you have a woman in your life that's a mother that you're celebrating with, be it your mom, your lady, um, a step parent, anything, you're supposed to take some of the motherly tasks off the plate, the cleaning, the cooking, the laundry. Sometimes she doesn't want to have to make decisions. She doesn't want to plan her own Mother's Day celebration.
But it feels so cookie cutterish.
It does, which is why I don't like saying I had to lower my expectations, because I did, to take some of the pain away in my first marriage.
I would say you didn't even lower them, you changed them.
Yeah, because there's a lot of letdown if you don't get all, the rose petals and the big giant card and the bouquet of flowers and all these other things. You didn't get as much as the other person who posted their stuff on Facebook.
And I think something that we all forget, maybe, I don't know. But maybe it's something where you feel obligated to give the cliche things or the cookie, I'm gonna call them the cookie cutter things, when you would rather show it in a different way. And maybe there's a little bit of fear in the receptiveness of how you decide to.
Absolutely, because it's become an expectation.
It has.
If you didn't get a card on Mother's Day, be it a handwritten card or one picked out from a store, you're lacking.
Yeah.
You failed. If you didn't get flowers or if you didn't give flowers on Mother's Day, you failed. You're lacking. So the same way with Christmas, I had to take everything away and not care what everybody else thought or expected.
Reframe
and make it something for me. So Mother's Day is a huge thing for me because it's not just mine. It's not just mine.
Stephanie loves to cook.
Exactly. So, I like hiking. I like nature. I like bringing that to my kids. I know my boys aren't super big on hiking and all that stuff, but I can bring that to them. I can give them this memory with me. And even if I'm doing that cheesy stuff that my mother did, it's something special from me to them, done with me for me. So it's a moment for me. I can show them the joy that I see around me on the hike, the mushrooms, the moss, the animals, the feeling, and I can point it all out and hope that they carry that with them. And that is my meaning, my whole molding of Mother's Day for me.
Mine is always useful objects. What can I get that person that's going to make their life a little bit easier and is a fun gadget that they probably wouldn't get for themselves? That's how I like to do the things.
If it's cooking, if you love cooking, then it'd be an awesome chance to cook a meal for everybody and give them a piece of that, or show them how to cook your favorite meal. And sharing with them your love of cooking.
Or, buy yourself a cooking class.
Ooh.
And be like, you don't have to expect your loved ones to know everything about you. And if you're just discovering it yourself, it's a low key way to be like, look, this is something I like.
And a cute moment you guys could share together.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I just want flowers or a plant, Steph says. Something I can mother.
Oh, there you go. I am your opposite. Don't give me any living thing. I am at my max capacity of living things. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 plants and a snake. And one plant, I had to trim all of its dead leaves off. And there was 15 of them, and there's only 4 buds growing back. Part of me wants to give up, but the other part's like, it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna work. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoy the flowers. But the holding on to the deeper meaning, what I make it into be is.
That's just it. What do you make it to be? When you think about this day, what sensations arise in your body first? Not the story, not the brain thoughts. What feeling? Where do you feel it at? And what is that feeling? Is it giddiness? Is it apprehension? Gosh, I said I didn't want to do this when I was getting into stuff. I just can't. Is there a part of you that feels left out of the narrative of what this day is supposed to be? Oh, man.
That's
Do
a
you
good
feel
one.
excluded from Mother's Day?
Is there a part of you that feels left out of the narrative of what this day is supposed to be? A quiet resistance, maybe feeling invisible today. Oof. Oof.
What's missing?
That's you're not allowed to celebrate if you're not a mom. You're not allowed to go and enjoy parts of the holiday because you didn't give birth, or the one that you were going to give birth to didn't come out right. Maybe you had a miscarriage. Maybe you only have animals and you only ever want animals, but that doesn't make you a mom because they have fur.
But loving is loving is loving.
Nurturing.
Yep.
That motherly energy.
Yep.
It deserves that acknowledgement, that recognition.
Well, in the moment that you classify Mother's Day as a specific type of criteria being met in order to celebrate it, you instantly, I'm going to say it, bastardize what it's meant for. You've taken it to your own narrative to be able to fit your own means. And that whole, I want to be exclusive, I want to be recognized for my exclusivity. It's a real, it's a double-edged sword. It's a fine line to walk.
Fair.
So remember that. Yeah. Give it all to all the peoples that are living hell. Even the dads that step into the mothering role as the mom steps into the male masculine role. There is that dynamic out there. So, it's, giving appreciation to everybody that is willing and able to step into their divine feminine and own it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
All right, this is a really good one. What have you never said out loud about this day, even to yourself?
Secretly, I do want the rose petals and the whole 9 yards and the craziness. But honestly, the hiking is my favorite.
Boom. That's where it gets real for Whitney. So, do you have
I just forever, I love the memory of hiking with my kids.
So what's the hike this year? Where are you guys gonna hike at?
Oh, he just asked me this morning. Like, I haven't even thought about it. I haven't even planned it.
You know, Nye's got some beautiful scenery, and this time of year they have a waterfall. That would be really cool to check out.
I don't know, I was thinking Red Lodge. I think it'd be cool to go look for mushrooms.
Red Lodge would be a really fun place. There's a lot of hiking
Just
trails.
pick a spot, pull off on the side, and just.
And if you're in Red Lodge and you're getting back there towards the Beartooth anyway, you might as well just head up there and check out the observatory.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ah, okay, so you go into Red Lodge, right? And then you drive like you're going to Cook City, and you have all these like hiking trails and whatnot that you can scope out going up the highway, and not just hiking trails, but campsites, the whole nine, right? But then you hit a bunch of switchbacks, and it takes you up to the top of the Beartooth. And at the top of the Beartooth, they have an observatory where you can park your car
and feed the chipmunks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought an observatory was like a building.
Well, it's the outside observatory.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, we have visited that.
It's the Bridge Ledge.
My first time going there is my hubby. My kids have all gone without me. I finally got to go myself.
You should let me know. I'd be down to take the girls and join you guys for your hike.
Do you have your kids on Mother's Day?
I do. Jory is gonna go up to Malta.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. It's a heavy day for her.
It is a heavy day for her. Yep. So
that's awesome. Yeah, we could probably do that.
Cool. Let me know.
A kid-friendly hike.
Well, I mean, it doesn't even have to be kid-friendly. I can just tap out when they tap out and bring it back. They'll tap out way early. They'll tap out before you got your fill of hiking. I promise you that. But gosh, they frustrate me. And it's always one or the other. One wants to keep going, and the other one's just whining her ass off. I need a piggyback ride. Dad, carry me.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to get together and talk about Mother's Day plans. But before we go into that, I want to take a moment and recognize and honor the grief that is behind the holiday and light a little candle in honor. Don't blow out my honor candle, Brayden. It's a moment of grief while he's laughing. Little brat. Every time, it's just a lighter. Freaking snot. Some of us come to Mother's Day with joy, and some of us with heartbreak. Most with a mix of both.
Ooh.
So I would like to hold space for those grieving a mom that they lost. Those estranged, where love is tangled in pain. Those who miscarried and carry a grief rarely spoken. Those who want to be mothers and feel the ache of waiting. Those who are moms and feel unseen, tired, or unsure. And those whose children are gone. This moment is for you too. You're not too much. You're not alone. And you're not invisible.
Allow yourself to feel the feelings. Just because you sit in them does not mean you become them. As you sit in them, you'll have answers surface. And as you get those answers, you will have new pathways to travel for Mother's Day. And who knows, maybe other aspects of your life that you were not originally aware of. Go in soft and with curiosity, with grace and understanding, and you will find the growth you're looking for.
The sacred doesn't die with the past. It lives because we do. Through the choices that we make, the lives that we nurture, the cycles that we break, it lives on in us. In every meal that we make with love, in every boundary that we set to heal, in every story that we rewrite because we chose to mother ourselves better than we were mothered. Let this be a rising moment, a lifting. Mother's Day is powerful. Remember all those who nurture. Acknowledge those who put in the extra effort, who carry that feminine energy. To all who mother, in flesh or in spirit, through presence or prayer, may your giving return to you tenfold. May your wounds be tended and your joy remembered. You are seen. You are sacred. You are the root. You are the sky.
You're allowed to make the choices.
Happy Mother's Day. Thanks for joining us tonight.
It's a good kickoff to a Mother's Day weekend. Indubitably.
I'm excited.
Here we go on an adventure.
My mother joined at the very end.
I lost all of my comments.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
They won't show me.
I'll talk to you later this weekend. Then you'll have to jump back and rewatch the rest.
Do the thing.
Love you guys.
See, I'm getting no comments because I joined in late. I lost it. Yeah.
That's okay.
All right, guys. Y'all have a wonderful night. Enjoy your feelings. And until next week. Yeah. Next week, we will be stepping into a 3-week series on, I almost said serendipity, on scarcity mindset and all of its aspects. So until then.
Woohoo.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your weekend.